It's an opportunity to get to know the program and ask your questions about applying and what that could include. I'll just wait for a second as all of the attendees begin to join. So we'll just give it a minute to make sure that everyone who wants to be here is in the room, and then we will get going. Brill. Well, I can see that there's a fair few of you joined. So thank you everyone for coming on time today. It's really lovely to see you all here. And I'm really looking forward to getting the opportunity to share more about our program with you. My name's Olivia. We'll get to proper introductions in shortly. But we've got the next hour together to, as I said, learn more about the Everyone's Environment Voices program. Hopefully, I'll answer most of your questions, and then if there's anything I've left out, we'll give plenty of time for you to ask questions at the end so that you have all the information you need. So, welcome to the space. Before we get started on the content of today's session, I just wanted to welcome everyone to the space and set out a few things that we've got available for you today. So closed captions are available if that helps you engage with the content better. You can turn those on by clicking the More button with the three dots on the bottom of your screens. We do have BSL interpretation today done by Andy, so that is available throughout the webinar. As I said, we'll give you plenty of time to ask questions, so you can pop those in the Q&A feature at any time during the session, which is again available by clicking the three dot more on your screen, or if you're not able to do that, you can pop those in the chat. If there is anything additional you need from us throughout the session, please do let us know in the chat. Myself, Lee, Polly, or Kenya, or our colleagues who are helping us out at MPC can help you to the best of our ability. This webinar is going to be recorded because we are going to share it with other people who are interested in the program, but also yourselves, so you can reference it if you need to. So just be aware that it will be recorded, but we will stop the recording before questions and answers. So that will not be recorded. And as I said, we'll send a follow-up email after this session with all the links and references, links and resources that we reference throughout the session, and this recording as well, and the slides. So don't feel like you need to remember everything that has been said. And when you leave the room, or the virtual room, the Zoom room, there will be a short feedback survey which will pop up. So if you do have anything you'd like to share with us at that point, please do feel free to add it there. So for each of the slides, I will also be giving a brief visual description before we kick into the content of the slide in case that's unfamiliar to you. So the visual description for this slide, it's a slide which is half black and half white. On the right-hand side, which is black, there is a bright yellow arrow pointing to the left, and then the agenda is shown on the left-hand side of this slide. So just so you know what to expect for the hour session that we've got today, we'll start with a welcome and introduction to myself and my colleagues. We'll talk about what everyone's environment is, who the team and the partners are, and then we'll talk through a bit about what the program is, who can apply and how you can apply, what support we provide throughout the program and accessibility. And then, as I said, the most important thing is that you have as much time as possible to be able to ask your questions. So we'll leave that for the end. And finally, we'll just let you know what the next steps are if you're interested in being part of the program, which I really hope you will be. So the next slide is a white background with a on the right side of the slide, there is a large green question mark, and on the left, there's text that talks through what is today all about. So, as I think I've said a few times, today is all about you getting to know the program, what it involves, whether it's right for you, and how to apply. So I hope that you'll learn more about what taking part involves, more about the training and mentoring and support that we offer, as well as a bit about what our organisations do and why we think this work is important. And with all of that said, I will move on and talk briefly about what everyone's environment is. So this slide contains text describing everyone's environment alongside the logo of everyone's environment, which is at the top. The logo consists of six coloured squares arranged in a circle. The squares are black, pink, purple, green, and blue, and the background is white. So in case you haven't seen it on our website already, in learning about this webinar today, Everyone's Environments is an alliance of about 80 social purpose and environmental groups who champion community voices and lived experience. Together, oh, apologies. Together with communities experiencing inequalities, we are changing who is included in decisions about the climate, nature, and our futures. So my organisation, NPC, enables the alliance, but we work alongside 80 ambitious organisations because doing this together is much more powerful than doing it alone. So everything we do with the program, and this part specifically that you're interested in, is all about putting communities at the heart of decisions. So allowing communities to shape decisions about climate, nature, and our futures. So, who is the Everyone's Environment team? I've spoken probably too much already. So, my name is Olivia, and I'm the program manager based at NPC. I'm a youngish woman of mixed heritage, so I have light brown skin that's a little bit darker than normal because of the sun that's been beaming down in the UK over the last few weeks. I've got glasses on, little round glasses today, and I've got a scarf in my hair. I'm joined by three colleagues, Lee, Polly, and Kenya from our partner organisations, who I will let introduce themselves as well. So, Polly, can I hand over to you?
Yes, sorry, trying to find the non-mute button. Hello, I'm Polly. I'm from Disability Rights UK. My visual description, I can give both on the slide and what I'm wearing today, but I'm a white woman in her mid-20s. I've got dark hair and a fringe, which isn't really fringing today, but is in the picture. And I'm in the picture I'm on by a brick wall and I'm wearing a grey cardigan. And today I'm wearing a very funky pink check top.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Polly. I'll let you talk about Disability Rights UK a little bit more on the next slide, but for now, I'll hand over to Kenya to introduce yourself.
Morning, everyone. My name's Kenya, and I'm the engagement manager at Turn to Us and part of the community engagement team. My picture on the screen shows a young-ish black woman facing the camera with dark hair, wearing a black top. And on screen today, I'm wearing a yellow-ish top with short hair and glasses.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kenya. And last but not least, Lee, I'll hand over to you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Lockhart. I'm a community engagement coordinator at Race Equality Foundation, and my pronouns are he, him. I will do my visual description on the slide first. I am a mixed race black man. I would also say young. In the photo on the slide, I'm wearing a blue button-up shirt in front of some greenery. Today, I am wearing a black t-shirt. I've got long curly hair and I'm wearing rectangular glasses.
Brill. Thank you so much, everybody. So they're the community engagement team who you'll learn more about what they provide in the program as we talk through. There's one other colleague who is part of the Everyone's Environment team who is shown on the screen, who's not with us on the call today, and that's my colleague Ben Jackson, who is the project director. And he is a older man, a white man, with glasses and a grey beard, is the picture on the screen. So I mentioned that Everyone's Environment is an alliance, and this program is a really strong partnership between our four main organisations that all the people who just spoke are from. So they are Disability Rights UK, Race Equality Foundation, and Turn to Us, because these organisations represent communities that we feel are really important in the climate conversation. And when you're trying to make social change and have been left out of that conversation and decision before. So we think it's really important to prioritise and centre the communities that these organisations represent. So the slide that we have up now shows the logos for those four organisations. Lee, Polly, and Kenya, I will hand over to each of you if you just want to give a brief description of what your organisations are and do, if that's okay. I'll go in reverse order this time. Lee.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. So yeah, Race Equality Foundation kind of does what it says in the tin. We're a national charity tackling racism. We do that in a lot of ways. We have Strengthening Families, Strengthening Communities, which is a parent program for youth violence. And then a lot of our policy work and community work is around health, which kind of led us to Everyone's Environment and looking at the environment through health inequalities that Black, Asian, and minoritized ethnic people experience, like air pollution, access to nature, things of that sort. And I think that's all I'll say for now.
Brill, thank you so much, Lee. And Kenya, would you like to give a brief intro to Turn to Us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Turn to Us is a national charity. So, we offer information and practical help to people facing financial insecurity or hardship. And we do that through our products and tools such as the benefits calculator and the PIP helper. With over 14 million people currently living in poverty across the country, we know that any kind of meaningful move towards a greener future must ensure that those already marginalised aren't further left behind. So we know that environmental issues and financial hardship are deeply connected. So climate change disproportionately impacts people on low incomes through higher energy bills, rising food costs. So ensuring that climate action includes economic justice, we're making sure that the transition to a greener future doesn't push more families into poverty.
Thank you so much, Kenya. And last but not least, again, Polly, over to you in Disability Rights UK.
Disability Rights UK also do what they say on the tin. So we're a disabled persons organisation, which means we are led by and for disabled people. So we're majority led and made up of disabled people and people who identify as disabled. And our purpose is to work with government and to influence decisions on a broad range of things to support and enhance disability rights. And going off what Kenya and Lee were saying, like with other minoritized groups, disabled people are disproportionately affected by climate and environmental change. So it's really important we're at the center of making decisions and thinking about how to change it. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So the next slide that I have just moved on to again is half black and half white. On the right-hand side, which is a black screen, there is a large purple exclamation mark, which is reflective of the text on the left that I will talk through now, which is talking about why it is so important, the work that we're doing. And for this, I will hand over to Lee.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Yeah, so why is it important? I guess the simple answer is that what we've kind of all said is that people who are most affected by climate change and environmental issues in general are often the least involved in the decisions about them. So we know that our communities are already experiencing inequality, and they're more likely to face things like rising energy cost, air pollution, flooding, limited access to green space, all these environmental and climate issues. But too often, those lived experiences aren't actually reflected in the conversations where decisions are being made about this stuff. And so that's what I guess everyone's environment is trying to change. We believe that people living with these challenges have valuable knowledge and perspectives that should help shape the climate and nature policies and decisions. Um, and then I'll go on the next slide. And yeah, so this slide, just a visual description really quick. On the right of the slide is a green question mark over a black background. And then on the left of the slide is a white background, and it says what we do, which I'll talk through briefly here. So I guess what we do is we work alongside communities to help create opportunities for people to influence decisions. Uh, Both at a local and national level, but specifically for the Voices program at a national level. So a big part of our work is making sure that real life experiences are heard. We know that stories are incredibly powerful and they help people in power make decisions and understand how environmental issues actually affect people's everyday lives. We know that the science is really important in understanding climate and environmental issues, but we also know that how people experience it is really important to how policies actually put in place. So we really are about promoting the idea that when everyone is included in climate and nature decisions, the outcomes are better. And so making sure that racialized communities, disabled communities, people experiencing financial insecurity, and all the intersections in between are included for more healthy communities, warmer homes, all those things. It's really important. And yeah, next slide, please. I'll briefly talk over how we do it. And so on this slide, on the right side, you'll see an image of a man of color who's knelt down writing on a cardboard sign that says, "Save our planet, save our future." The left side again is a white background that says, how we do it at the top. And so we've briefly mentioned this, but we're able to do this because everyone's environment is a partnership. So NPC leads this work, and Race Equality Foundation, Disability Rights UK turn to us, are national charities that really work with these communities. And so we're used to going in and supporting these communities to do work like this. And in combination with those 80 organizations that Olivia briefly mentioned, who all share the goal of making environmental decisions more inclusive. It's a great coalition. But yeah, by working together, we have a stronger voice, as Olivia has said, and it allows us to connect communities with people who can influence change. So community organizations working with organizations like NPC and wider in the coalition. And yes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Lee. So now, after hearing about everyone's environment in the biggest sense and everything that's going on with us, I'll come to what you've probably joined the webinar to learn more about, which is specifically about the Voices programme. So this slide shows 5 circular icons in the middle of the slide in pink. The first has a speaker within it. The second has a book. The third is a network of connections. The fourth shows footsteps, and the fifth shows a handshake. And then there's text describing each of those below, which I'll talk through with you right now. So this is all about what the program offers. So as we've said, everyone's environment is all about making sure community voices of those least heard are put in the center of decisions about climate, nature, and our futures. And so that's because we believe that everyone is an expert in how they live and what they need to have a better life. But sometimes we don't necessarily have the skills or the confidence or the connections to share our story, speak to each other, and speak to those with power to create the future that we want. So we're all about providing training and support to allow you to do that. So the first thing that we offer is a chance to speak up for your community. So sharing your experiences, helping make sure the voices of people most affected by the environmental issues are heard. Secondly, this program is all about learning new skills. So throughout the 6 to 9 months that you're on the program, you'll have the opportunity to be trained in storytelling, media engagement, public speaking, and campaigning and advocacy. that we all think is really beneficial to be able for you to have the confidence and the knowledge to be able to shape decisions in the way that works best for yourself and your community. You'll get the opportunity to connect with people who also care about making a difference and learn from their experiences. There'll be between 20 and 25 people on the program from across the UK. So it's a really good opportunity to also connect with people who care about the same things that you do, and learn from their experiences, and again, make change together. The fourth thing that we offer is an opportunity to grow your confidence. So we hope that by providing this training and support, we'll be able to build your confidence to be able to talk about issues that matter to you and your community. As Lee said, sometimes the climate and environmental movement really focus on the science, so it can feel quite uncomfortable, or maybe like when you want to talk from your experience as opposed to from the science, it's not really the space to do that. So we really want to make sure that everyone feels like their voice is as valuable and is as important as those scientific facts as well. And finally, the what we offer is the opportunity to work with the media. So, as I've said many times, this program is all about using your voice and sharing your story. And one of the ways to do that is through media. So by that we mean social media, print media, blogs, TikToks, TV if you want to, radio, anything in between. So you'll get the support from media professionals and opportunities to share your story more widely. So the next slide shows 6 pink squares, 3 on the top row, 3 on the bottom row, all with text within, which I will talk through just now. So this slide is talking about who is a good fit for the program. So we want to make sure that the program, you're right for the program and the program is right for you. So we think people who would take the most benefit from this program, people who already care about their local community, who are already working on making changes and making life better for themselves and their community, but maybe haven't had the opportunity to think about how the environment and climate change is influencing that, or haven't felt the confidence to bring that discussion into what you're doing. We're hoping that people who join the program want to share their experience and their stories to help shape and influence conversations and decisions around these social and environmental issues. We also hope that people who join this program want to share their stories to create change as well. And people who join this program really care about making a difference for themselves and their communities. We feel like it's also important that people who join this program have a support network around them. May this be community, family, or friends. It can be a lot of work to share your story, to learn new things, to have to engage with the media. So having a support system around you is really important to make sure that you can do the best you can, but also that you have someone to lean on when you need to. And finally, we hope that people who join this program will be interested in sharing their experience publicly. As I've said, there's lots of ways to do that. It can be hyper local. If you've got a local, I don't know, flyer that goes around your street in Bristol, that could be a great way for you to share your story, but it could be something bigger, thinking about kind of like national news and TV. But it's not only about the learning this program, it's hopefully about the doing as well. So the interest in doing that is really important too. And I'll hand over to Kenya to get into a little bit more of the detail about what to expect if you join the program.
Thanks, Olivia. So just a visual description of the slide. So there is a timeline arrow in pink moving from left to right of the screen, and then there are 6 dots which are spaced out evenly along the timeline with descriptions of what happens at each point. So just to start, apply. We encourage everyone to apply before the 16th of August, which is when online applications close. There is a form to go through, but you can also submit a video or a voice note if that suits you and is easier for you. Then the community engagement team will come together, and if we think you could be a good fit, we'll invite you for a short chat to get to know you and answer any questions and just see if the program is the right fit for you and if it's what you expected. Then we will have a program introduction. So this is a chance for you to meet your community engagement lead, which will be either myself, Lee, or Polly, and we will be there to support you throughout the entirety of the program. So discuss any access needs or make sure you have everything you need before the program starts, but we will be your point of contact throughout the whole program. And then training, development, and action. So Voices begins, where we will go through all the training, develop your skills, learn new skills, and an opportunity to kind of put all of that to action. And then after 6 months, we will have a chance to kind of celebrate the end of the program, learn, reflect on all the kind of great work that has been done. And as Olivia has already mentioned, we want everyone to stay part of our community and start putting what you've learned into action. So an opportunity to stay connected to everyone's environment beyond the end of the program. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is, I'll just do the visual description for this. So another timeline pointing from left to right with 4 boxes in pink, purple, and green. And the first one says apply. So as I mentioned, we encourage everyone to apply. Once applications close, we'll move on to training, an opportunity to develop those skills, and then action. So those are kind of the 4 stages of the program, so you can expect what is next. And then the next slide, Olivia. Thank you. And then, yeah, just apply. We can't encourage you enough to apply if you feel like the program is a good fit for you, or if you're just interested, you're curious, you want to know about environmental justice, or you just feel drawn to everyone's environment. We'd really encourage you to fill in a short application form. It won't take longer than 10 minutes. And this is an opportunity just to tell us a bit about you, your interests as an individual, why you're interested in the program. And as I've mentioned before, you can write your answers, or if it's easier for you to send a video or a voice note, you can also do that too. And we know that everybody has different, capacities and interests. We want to hear about those, and we want to see how we can make sure the program is a great fit for you as well.
Amazing. Thank you, Kenya. And then the visual description for this is on the right side. There is an image of a Black woman who is reading some papers in front of some gardening. And then on the left side, we have training, which I'll go through a bit now. Yeah, so training is really at the heart of what the program is. It's designed to build your confidence, as Olivia said. It's for knowledge, practical skills that you feel supported in sharing your experiences and starting to create that change that I assume many of you are already looking at doing now. And so yeah, the program runs over 9 months from October to July. We will have a welcome session in September so everyone can meet before things begin. Throughout the program, you'll learn about climate and nature issues, but you'll also develop practical skills through media training, and that's with organizations like Media Trust. And then we'll also have advocacy training with organizations like Hope for the Future. And so sessions will take place online every 2 weeks during the day on weekdays. And so most are around 2.5 hours long. And so that adds up to roughly 40 hours across the program. And there are also some optional opportunities to meet in person. And one of the things that participants often value most in this program is the chance to connect with journalists, media professionals, and other people on the program. So it's not just about learning new skills. It's also about building those relationships, as Olivia was saying, and feeling part of a community that wants to create positive change. And alongside that training, we'll also work to make sure participants have that support they need throughout the program. And I will pass that on.
So development and support, we'll start off with a visual description. So on the right, we have a woman interviewing a black man. She's wearing a blue top and jeans, and he's wearing a colorful kind of white jumper and some bright orange joggers, and they are being filmed. So development and support, I suppose, very crucial. And I suppose beyond anything else that gets out of this program, we want to support you and make sure that you feel comfortable and safe within the program. And so we want it to be an inclusive space, an accessible space, and honestly, and ultimately a space where you thrive. The main point of contact will be myself, Kenya, or Lee, and we're people you can ask about your needs, ask questions, and reflect on your experience throughout the program. So we're kind of your sounding board throughout. Um, as I slowly choke. We have also peer networking sessions where you can connect with others in the group, and you also will have a chance to connect with journalists and media professionals beyond that. And next slide, the title is What We Offer You. And on the right, there is a photo of myself, Lee, and Olivia. We're standing outside a building in the sun, and I'm wearing a big grey coat. Lee's wearing a colourful kind of jumper, and Olivia's wearing a big white coat. So what can we offer you? Number one is accessibility and an inclusive environment. So we'll work with you to meet any access needs or adjustments. They can be as big or small. They're also, I always say, there is never a need to kind of disclose any specific disability. We just need to know what you need to support you, and we will be there. Flexible participation, we'll share session dates in advance and provide notes and resources afterwards. And we'll also provide resources in advance to make sure everyone has a chance to read them and understand them and ask questions. Payment and expenses, you'll be paid for your time, reimbursed for reasonable expenses, and we'll make the payment process as simple and as straightforward as possible.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. So the final, well, I'm saying the final slide, that's a lie. Getting closer to the end of the slides, we've got the visual description for this one is we've got an image on the right-hand side of the screen showing a man taking a selfie with a GoPro with greenery in the background and pink sparks highlight his face. And he's wearing some sunglasses as well. So after you've had that 6 to 9 months of training that we've spoken through, you'll be encouraged to start using what you've learned in your own way and in your own spaces. So we'll aim to support you in how you choose to use your voice, whether it's through storytelling, advocacy, or community action. So as I've said, it could be that you start writing a blog that you publish in your local community newsletter, or it could be that you really want to get your voice out there in to as many people as you can. So it could be that you start pitching yourself to, I don't know, Newsnight so you can get your voice out there. It could be any of those things. There will be opportunities that we can offer you both throughout the program and after the program. But we also hope you'll feel confident to start creating your own. So all of our organizations have a platform and a website. So it could be that we maybe ask you to do a video for our website talking about your experience. But we would hope that there'd be opportunities that you can take of your own accord once you've had the chance to think about how all these things connect and how you want to use your voice. The training and support part of the program will come to an end next summer. But as we've said before, there'll be lots of further opportunities to apply what you've learned in your local area in a way that you want and stay connected with the Everyone's Environment program and community beyond that date, if that's something that you want, which I'm hoping it will be. And I'm not going to go through these videos for now, if I can. Oh, I don't want to do that. Apologies. I was doing very well with tech, and now I've potentially mucked it up. Let me see. Um, I won't go through those videos for now. I will save them for later. But for now, what I want to do is be able to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have, or yeah, any comments or thoughts at this point in time, because we've got plenty of time for you to do that. So I'll open over to you guys. If you want to put questions in the chat or in the Q&A function, as I mentioned, or potentially speak to those questions as well, that would be great.